All right, here we go. The Corporals Corner skillets are here. Let's check them out. Now, I want to say it was February. You go back and check my videos. We went to the forge and we banged out an early version or a prototype of what you just saw there. Simple dish with a pipe nub handle, and we welded it on and took it out and used it. Gave you a couple of options. Option A, take a stick, carve it down, shove it into that pipe right there. Gives you an elongated handle, stays away from the fire, it's made of wood, and it's going to stay cool. Option B, long stick, Y branch, and then an L7 stake at the end to hold it in place over the fire. And you can raise or lower it accordingly. And we showed that in the video. If you haven't seen that video, here's the thumbnail right here. Check it out. So that was prototype A. Prototype B is simply adding a handle in place of the pipe nub and simply bending it so it's upward away from the fire. Fire's here, handle's away, and in a sense it will give you a cooler handle. And that's option A and B, or prototype A and B. We have a prototype C, and we'll talk about that. That's going to be released in about 3 to 4 weeks. Now, I'm going to address this because it's already been brought up 2 or 3 times. And usually the ones bringing it up are trying to play games. So we'll respond to those games and shut it down right here. During that video, I want to say back in February, I mentioned something to the effect of answering a subscriber's question of whether or not I'll reproduce a cold handle skillet. If you have no idea what a cold handle skillet is, check these out. And my answer to that was no, because it cheapens it. It cheapens history, it cheapens the quality, it cheapens the item. Items were made a certain way in the past that evolve and bring us into the future. When you go to an antique store, you see things that are 100 years old, 200 years old, 80 years old, 50 years old. They serve their purpose, and some of those items were made so well, they could still be used today. So that's my rundown on that. Now, with that said, there's 2 ways to go about it properly. One, if you're going to copy an item, you copy it exactly the way that it was. Meaning, if it's a skillet, if it's a knife, if it's a gun, whatever country it's from, you use the items from that country. You use that steel, you use those specs, and you copy it exactly. And you say, I copied this with these specs and with this steel to make it a replica of what once was. Then it's perfect, because you have history and you have a modern equivalent. Done deal. Option 2, you're inspired by the past. You take an item, make some changes to it to make it yours, or better, basically to brand it as your own, and say, look, I'm inspired by the past. I have this item. I did this with it, and this is my example or my revision of that item. Make sense? So with that in mind, that's exactly what I've done here. And prototype number 3, we'll talk about right now, is basically my version of a cold handle skillet. In about 3 to 4 weeks, once I have that prototype complete, we'll showcase it and post it on Etsy. Now, let's go ahead and get these skillets out and check them out. The first one we have here is our Frontier skillet. You're looking at 6-inch outer diameter, 5-inch inner diameter, 1-inch lip, followed by an 1.5-inch pipe nub that has a 1-inch inner diameter. Now keep in mind, like we already mentioned, this stick right here can be as long as you want. Go for a 2 or 3 footer. Put that Y branch in the ground. Fire right here, L7 stake on this end, and you're cooking over the fire. Now the main purpose of this pipe nub skillet is 2 things. To be lightweight and to be packable. It's made from 16 gauge steel, the plate as well as the pipe, and can be tossed into a haversack, a butt pack on a military harness, or even a small backpack. This next one here is called the Corporals Corner Basic Skillet. We have an 1.25 inch height, 5 3/4 base, 16 gauge steel, followed by a 12 gauge steel handle. And this right here is exactly what it says it is. It's a basic camp skillet. Something for backpacking or car camping. Put it in the RV, put it in the cabin. We have a hole right there, it's a 1/4 inch diameter. You can drive a nail into the wall, hang it, or put it on a hook, put a nail in a tree, or even find a tree branch and hang it just like that. And it's made of carbon steel as well. All you have to do, get this thing seasoned up, and it probably lasts your lifetime. Now I'll say it one more time because someone's going to miss it. Both of these are carbon steel. They're made in the USA with USA steel, with an American, yours truly, in my shop / garage. Now, here's what I've had to go through to get this. Just looking at something, you can go out there and make one for yourself. But the question is, how do I make these on an assembly line? So I'm just making handles. I'm just making the pipe nubs. I'm just making the plates. How can I do this? How many an hour can I get? What's my cost? Steel costs this much. It's made in America, so it's American steel. It's going to cost more. Going through all of that takes weeks, if not months. Then, getting the tools made. Some I made myself, some I farmed out. And I farmed them out in America. Now, I've heard this before, being paraded around, about owning tooling. Here's my take on that. If you want a 1967 bumper from a Ford, and you say, well, I want to make 10 of these because I keep wrecking mine and keep trashing it out, it keeps getting rusted and falling off, I want to make tooling to make this. Anybody in the world can go get tooling made to make whatever part or thing that you want, okay? Is it legal? That's the question, okay? So me coming up with the designs, doing the math, doing the takeoffs, yes, I took math from Marines, so I was able to figure out everything I needed, had a piece made, and then other pieces made, and then other pieces made, and other tools made. So not only do I own the tooling, I own the shop. And I can mass produce these by myself if I choose to, or hire somebody to do it. And it's all being done at my house. That leads me to the road of small businesses. Those of you that choose to buy one of these, or 2 or 3, or all 3 models when they come out, I appreciate it, and I appreciate you. You're keeping a small business alive versus businesses that farm things out to the Ukraine or China or Russia and things like that, and then claim made in the USA. At the end of the day, this is what it's about. Whether your position is over here for the election or over here for the election, end of the day, we're all Americans, and keeping American businesses alive should be priority. So once again, those that choose to buy one of these, I appreciate it. Thank you for your support. So this right here is prototype number 3. It's going to be my version of a cold handle skillet, made once again in the USA, in my garage with hand tools. It's going to be exactly like prototype number 2, but have a Corporals Corner embossed raised lettering on the handle. So we're going to provide a handle wrap on here. And it does 2 things. 1, it gives the name of the company, me, and it's cool to have. 2, it's going to have open end here and an open end here. Now, on most cold handle skillets, the problem I always saw was they put a piece of steel in the front and a piece of steel in the back. And the thought process was, we'll keep grease from going inside there. However, about 70% of the cold handles that are still in existence that I come across, all the handle wraps are pitted with holes. And you can shake it and hear rust all inside there. What did it do? It trapped moisture and rain. Here's my opinion. I want grease to go inside there. All I gotta do is take a rag, feed it through, pull it out. What have we done? We've now coated the inside of that. Keep it from rusting. Also, what does it do? It allows airflow. It will pass through there and out. Nice, cool air will be going back and forth inside there. It's going to give you a little buffer to grab onto as it's away from the fire. Is it going to make it 100% cold? Hell no. Will it be cooler? Yes. And give you the option to clean it out. And like I said, once prototype number 3 is available in 3 to 4 weeks, we'll post that on my Etsy page as well. So now, back to the Etsy store. For those that have not been following me on Etsy, you need to. My Etsy link is in my video description box. This Sunday, once Sunday's video drops, I'll announce it again. Prototype A and B are going to go up and be available. Now, we're going to address this. They're going to be available in small quantities. We're talking 25 to 50 each per week. And here's why. I have to make them. Okay? I didn't contact a China company and get a shipment of 500. I have to physically make these, and it takes 1 day to prep, 1 day to weld everything, 1 day for cleanup, and then maybe half a day to package, in addition to everything else that I'm doing. Okay? So bear with me. Be patient, because these are here to stay, and they're going to be a staple item in my Etsy store. And I have more great things to come. We have 3 or 4 more projects we're working on right now that will be dropped incrementally to go along with these. If you want to get an idea of size, this is a number 40 cold handle skillet, and here is the Corporals Corner basic skillet. Corner basic skillet and Corporals Corner frontier fork. And there you go, fully tested in the field. Now these are going to come unseasoned. Simply do what I just did. Cook a meal, cook bacon, wipe it down with a nice cloth, and store it away. Over time, it's going to be fully seasoned, just like cast iron, and hopefully will be weather resistant. On that note, let's get out of here. All the gear in my videos can be found in 2 places. 1, my Amazon affiliate page, and 2, my Etsy store. Both links are found inside my video description box. Now please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. As always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time.